Switzerland, the country that woke me up at 5 a.m. in the morning for a speeding fine from 3 years before, has now a crazy proposal. This is not from the Swiss government, it is from the Swiss Socialist Party, specifically the youth section of the Socialist Party. And this is very concerning because it's the youth, it's the young people who want to vote for this. So obviously the future of Switzerland depends on the youth. They are proposing a 50% wealth tax to, this is not a joke, fight climate change. A 50% tax to fight climate change. It would only apply to people whose net worths are over 50 million francs, which is around 63 million US dollars, maybe more, or a little bit more. It's a lot of money, but it can always go down. If it passes, which is, it probably won't pass, because the Swiss government has said that this is going to destroy Switzerland, which is obviously it's going to destroy the country. People from other countries, billionaires and centimillionaires from Norway, Spain, other countries that have wealth taxes have all moved to Switzerland. Some moved to UAE, they moved to other countries, they've gotten second citizenship in other countries, they got Caribbean, they've moved to a lot of countries, but a lot of them, especially the billionaires, have moved to Switzerland. So obviously if you tax those billionaires, they're gonna go and move again somewhere else to a place like Dubai and the UAE. Obviously the UAE is right next to Iran, there's a lot of tension in the region, but the UAE has proven to be a home for wealth. They're not going to give you citizenship, they're not going to give you permanent residency, but if you want a golden visa, if you don't want to pay capital gains taxes, personal income tax, wealth taxes, inheritance taxes, just like this one, an inheritance tax has been proposed before in Switzerland in 2015. 71% of citizens voted no, so it was rejected. Now they're going to vote again in November 2025 for this 50%. It'll really be an inheritance tax. It is a wealth tax, but it's an inheritance tax because it is taxed when you die. So essentially, when you pass on your fortune to your children or to other people, you are taxed on that 50% on anything above 50 million francs. If you have a company and the company is worth 500 million francs, they're going to be taxed on 450 million. Of that, half of that, the government can take to fight climate change. Crazy, right? These people who have grown up in this beautiful society in Switzerland have benefited from Switzerland's reputation as a financial hub, have benefited from the government policies attracting all these billionaires. Now they want to punish these billionaires and they want to punish wealth. As I said, this is not a government proposal, this is a party proposal, but any proposal that has over 100,000 signatures has to be voted on by everyone. And it has over 100,000 signatures, which is concerning because it's showing that specifically young people, this was from the youth part of the Socialist Party, young people want there to be higher taxes. Young people under the guise of climate change, because if they really cared about climate change, you can believe what you want about that. If they really cared about it, they would just ban private flights. They would ban private air travel. They would ban the Davos World Economic Forum meeting, where everybody flies private, where everybody uses their private jets. They would ban that if they truly cared about climate change, not let's impose a 50% tax on inheritances just to fight climate change. And there's also no climate change incentive. Like if you invest your money from those over 50 million francs into green initiative, into green energy, into things that fight climate change, you get no deductions. They don't care. They just want to tax you at 50%. To have some excuse, right? I'm talking on YouTube. It's not my platform, so you can think what you want about climate change. But when they're using an excuse like this, it means they haven't really researched it properly. It means they just want to tax you at 50% just to take money, just to punish the rich that have built this beautiful society that they now take advantage of. So if you're in Switzerland, if you're considering Switzerland, because also we have to keep in mind that Switzerland has joined the crypto asset regulatory framework. Switzerland reports to your home country if you have crypto, if you cash out crypto to a bank account, if you have bank accounts for your company or your personal accounts in Switzerland, they were reported back. Now they are truly integrated into the financial system, sharing everything, including crypto. Your assets and your crypto are not private in Switzerland. I mentioned Swiss bank accounts many times and Liechtenstein bank accounts because if you want to cash out millions, to a bank account and you don't want it to disappear, you don't want corruption to take your money or anything like that, Switzerland is a great place to do that. Liechtenstein is a great place to do that. But keep another option just in case. Get a UAE golden visa, which is now easier than ever. You can get it by nomination, you can buy a property, you can buy off-plan property, you can invest into a company, get a 10-year golden visa and have it on your back pocket. Get a second citizenship just in case. A lot of Swiss citizens, they're now coming to us and saying, look, Switzerland right now, it's great, but it's heading in the wrong direction. In the last 10 years, which is 10 years ago was the last vote for an inheritance tax, a lot of newer people have become Swiss in the last 10 years. Becoming Swiss is pretty hard, but a lot of people from outside of Switzerland, mainly outside of the European Union, have become Swiss. Switzerland has a pretty generous asylum policy as well. So the future of Switzerland might be different, and the youth want there to be wealth taxes and inheritance taxes. So if you're thinking of growing your wealth massively, if you already have massive wealth, we talk to billionaires, we talk to centimillionaires all the time. We talk to people that their companies, even though they are not formally valued, might be valued at 100 million, might be valued at $1 billion later on. Their properties around the world with inflation might be valued at that price. And in the future, they might suffer from this inheritance tax. Keep a second option, get a second citizenship. Now we're seeing how the Caribbean, because of EU and US regulations and US travel ban, have added a residency requirement. The Caribbean is planning to do a 5-year passport. My passport is 10 years. When I got Caribbean citizenship, I got a 10-year passport. Now they're thinking of doing it for 5 years. And in those 5 years, you have to be 30 days in the country in order to renew your passport and keep your citizenship. So adding more and more regulations, more restrictions, more due diligence, longer process. So if you want to do it ASAP, or do it in a country like the Republic of Serbia where you can invest, you can contribute to the country, you can show your value to the country and get citizenship straight from the prime minister or the president. This is our specialty here at Wealthy Expat, showing you as a valuable member of society that is going to contribute to the country in order to get citizenship in a country like Serbia. It's called citizenship by merit. Multiple countries around the world have it. Countries, depending on how good their passport is, how good the reputation of the country is, how developed it is, the prices are going to be higher. Some countries, they want you to invest 500,000. Some countries want you to invest 5 million or 10 million in the case of Austria, for example. So you can book a call with the link in the description. If you're interested in getting another citizenship, citizenship by merit is the best way to go, not traditional citizenship by investment, and we can help you through all that process. You can give El Salvador $1 million. If you're worth 100 million, you can give them 1 million and you bet on the future of El Salvador, which based on the policies that they have right now for taxes, it's going to be better than countries like Switzerland. Switzerland is amazing now, but as we see, the youth wants higher taxes. As we see, the future might be way higher taxes for the wealthy in Switzerland. Countries like, for example, Spain or Norway have imposed horrible wealth taxes. And in places like Spain, wealth taxes have started at very high levels, but they creep down to regular millionaires. From 50 million francs, it could go down to 25 million. It can then go down to 10 million. And then anybody who is a multimillionaire has to pay this 50% tax above 2 million because you just have too much money. And if you've ever been in Switzerland for a long time, you know that 1 million or 2 million francs is really not that much money in Switzerland. 50 million is a lot. 25 million, 10 million, then it goes down to 5 to 2. Or in cases like in Spain, if it goes over 1 million, you're considered wealthy and you still have to do some reporting for wealth taxes, pay a little bit of wealth tax, which might increase in the future. So countries in Europe in general, specifically in the European Union, I know Switzerland is not part of the European Union, but let's add it into it, EU plus Switzerland, the direction that they're heading is adding more wealth taxes and punishing the rich, with a few exceptions. And if you're a Swiss citizen or you're an EU citizen who lives in Switzerland, you obviously have access to all the countries in the European Union. So there are other options that you can consider. You can consider not just UAE and Dubai, but also other countries that don't have wealth taxes within the European Union or have much lower taxes like Hungary, Poland, Romania, that want wealth to come to the country. They're not going to punish that wealth. Or countries outside of the European Union like Serbia that want you to contribute. They give you citizenship in exchange and they will not punish your wealth, and they don't care where you have your crypto, where you have your bank accounts, where you have your company, as long as everything you do is legal. If you want to protect yourself and your wealth, the best way to do it is by getting a second citizenship. Check out this video right here on the best options you have around the world, the best citizenship by donation, by exception, by merit, all the programs you have available as a multimillionaire or centimillionaire, whatever your wealth level is. Check it out right here.